Hello, YouTubers. Joe Kersey here on September 30th at 1845 British summertime in Durham, England. Durham, England, the UK. God bless us, everyone. Now, I'll talk about some of the earlier aspects of this trip and some other snippets, but today was one of those sublime days, which is basically why I came over here. I knew that if I spent enough time in this place, I don't like to use the phrase thin space, but that's what the Celtic mystics use, where the divine and human interact. Inevitably, you'd get a certain amount of wash-over, intermingling, that sort of thing. I wandered up this morning a little later than I used to do. I wandered about 9:45, and I wanted to spend some time in St. Cuthbert's shrine, just sitting there, just absorbing. And then and then you walk around some more, And I decided I'd actually take the 10:30 tour. I've never taken a tour at Durham before. Because I knew a fair amount about it. I'd read enough about it. I've been there. This is my 5th time back. But it's always good to hear what these folks have to say. It was only £5. Well worth that for that experience. And the fellow that took us around says, "You've been here all week, haven't you?" And I said, "Yeah." I said, "It's kind of a mini pilgrimage, And turns out I was the only one from the United States on this tour, which is nice because sometimes you can't get away from us. I hate to say that, but sometimes you can't. More of that anon about other nationalities here, but maybe in a separate video. But anyway, he had some stuff I'd never heard of before. About the Hatfield family, the Neville Hatfields, and all that, the Nevilles, and it was very interesting. And so at the end, I said, I might see you in 2 or 3 years. He says, if I'm still here. And I said, if I'm still here too. Magnificent people, magnificent cathedral, magnificent staff. Went to Holy Communion at 12:30. In the St. Cuthbert Chapel, or the shrine, they're bringing extra seats, and it almost was like standing room only, which is good, isn't it? Yeah. I would have stood up, but God bless me, and I hate to plead physical pain, but yeah, I thought, no, I am not going to stand up for 45, 50 minutes on this. So I didn't seem to, everybody that needed to be accommodated seemed to be accommodated, so. I know I don't look like I'm 65, but I'm 65, and I've had a stroke. Yeah. Okay. So, Well, it's like, well, I mean, now it's time to think about what you do. It's getting on toward noonish, 1-ish, 1:30-ish, after Holy Communion, 1:30-ish. So went down to the library, which is kind of a campus-y bar, Durham University campus-y bar. So people can say, I've been at the library. Your mother says, where are you? I'm at the library, Mom. Ohio State had one too, And yeah, I had a couple, three. Unfortunately, the only table that I was able to sit at had this, wobble that I thought, should I take out one of my last remaining cards, which, by the way, I've run through a lot of my YouTube channel cards. I should have brought more over, but I didn't. So I'm almost out. And so I didn't make a shim to keep that damn table from wobbling, so I moved on down the hill. Unfortunately, I moved on down the... Well, actually, no, I can't say unfortunately, because I moved on down the hill of the Shakespeare, which, as I might have implied in some other stuff, maybe not. Let's just say this. I mean, there's a lot of Americans that end up in there. If you're going into the Shakespeare for the English pub experience, you ain't going to get the English pub experience. You're going to get the American and English pub experience. That's okay. We've all been there. Well, but, come on, Yeah, some Americans know how to behave, some Americans don't. Turns out the ones that were there today did know how to behave. And it became clear that I thought these were fraternal twins, brother and sister, that were both going to Durham University, starting at Durham University. And these folks were from California, of course. Well, not of course, but they were from California. And the fella, James or John, John. I guess he had to meet his tutor or his preceptor long about 3:45 or 4 o'clock. So they had to get out of there in about 40 minutes. So they were just sitting around eating chips and drinking pop and beer, depending on their status. And I thought his sister must have been a bit older, but maybe not. It's hard to tell. In any case, he was clearly kind of focused on what he had to do. The sister was more focused on, when they're going to see him next. And she says, well, we won't see him next until Christmas. And then his mother says, and then we won't see him again for a whole year. Then the sister, yeah, and then we won't see him again for a whole year. Because, so while these people are well off, they can't be flying this guy back and forth 2 or 3 times a year, just for family holidays and family occasions. So, and as the dad said, you'll develop your own life over here. You'll develop your own life, and he will. And I this whole week I've been up here at Durham University. You've seen these folks come in. Getting ready to start, they're out of the nest, and some of them act like they're completely adrift. Some of them act like they know what they have a plan, and it so reminds me of when I started at Ohio State. You have a plan. You decide what you're going to do. Now, if that doesn't work, then you change your plan and do something else. But there clearly a couple times where some of these guys are just completely adrift. Well, it was fun. It was fun. In fact, I sort of violated my rule here tonight and went back into the Bell's Fish and Chips place and had fish and chips. I sort of swore I wasn't going to eat any more potatoes, but I did. Good fish. But there's a guy that was, he was hanging around, this marquee, the third marquee of Londonderry or whatever statue in the center of the Durham City Market Square. I mean, he just looked completely drift. Well, it turns out he wasn't. He was waiting for his two Chinese buds to show up. I'm going to tell you right now, and this is going to sound ethnic and racist and hateful as hell, but I don't mean it that way. I mean it as a descriptive sociological situation. If you were to walk into Durham, say, 3 hours in the morning, 3 hours in the afternoon, you would swear that you're sort of in some sort of far western annex of a Chinese city. There's a lot of really intelligent young people running around on their phone, using their phones and things. Further afferent saith not. You make the call. So, at some point I'm going to sit down and talk about the dismay I felt when I realized I didn't have enough balance to really walk around carrying luggage and things, but I think I'll let that go till later. So I'll say bye-bye, YouTubers. Now, tomorrow I'm going to head south to the Cubley Inn at Penistone. Cubley Hall at Penistone. That's the name of the hotel. And then the Queen's Arms over just outside Manchester. And then by the grace of God, got home in the big aluminum and fiberglass tube. Well, it's Boeing, so it'll be the big aluminum tube. 767. I may actually check my carry-on bag if I can check it all the way through to Columbus without having to dick around with it, But I don't know how that works in customs and things. So we'll see. All right. So I'll say bye-bye, YouTubers. Let's see, turn this off now. So I carried this tripod over just for you guys. Come on, go on.